It's now past midnight. Your pulse is hammering, your chest is tight. You are thinking about a text you sent 6 hours ago, convinced you just ruined your job. Your brain is screaming that disaster is imminent, but there is no danger here. You are just chasing a ghost. 2,000 years ago, a man named Seneca chased a ghost too, but unlike yours, his fears had very real consequences. He was the advisor to a murderous emperor who could, and eventually did, order his execution at any second. And yet, Seneca didn't spiral. He didn't panic. Instead, he cultivated a set of mental disciplines that helped him stay calm even when death was a real possibility. Every morning, Seneca woke knowing the emperor he advised might decide he had become inconvenient. In essays like On Tranquility of Mind and in his letters, Seneca repeatedly returned to the problem of anxiety. He wasn't writing from the safety of hindsight. He was writing under the reign of Emperor Nero, knowing his life could end at any moment. He had genuine reasons to be anxious, but he refused to let fear make his decisions for him. The first thing Seneca realized was that most suffering arrived long before reality did. He observed that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Most anxiety isn't about what's happening right now. It's about a future that hasn't happened yet, the conversation that goes badly, the disaster that might strike. You are feeling the distress of a world that does not exist and may never exist. His advice was simple: bring your attention back to the present. If you wake up at 2 a.m. spiraling, force yourself to say out loud, I am imagining something that hasn't happened. Name the spiral, break the loop. The future is a fiction. This room is real. Imagine serving Nero. Every summons to the palace could mean either promotion or execution. If anyone had a reason to fear, it was Seneca. Seneca discovered something else. Fear grows in darkness. The less specific it is, the larger it becomes. So, instead of avoiding his worst fears, he looked directly at them. He called this premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Anxiety feeds on vagueness. So when you panic, ask yourself, what is the actual specific worst-case scenario here? Not the shapeless dread, the concrete outcome. Now ask yourself, could I survive that? What would I actually do? When I finally sat down and did the math on my finances, it was a relief. The real number was specific, and specific fears lose their power. Seneca said, let us prepare our minds as if we had come to the very end of life. Walk through the worst case. Name it. Then let it go because you've already survived it in your mind. There was another habit Seneca became almost ruthless about. He became deeply selective about what and who he allowed into his mind. As he wrote, associate with those who will make a better man of you. We absorb the emotional patterns of the people we spend time with and the media we consume. Today, our companions aren't just friends. They're the hundreds of voices we invite into our minds every day. Step back from any conversation or environment that constantly feeds your fear. You aren't a hermit, you are protecting your mental space. Your brain is a garden. You cannot ignore what you plant in it. Every evening, after another day serving Nero, Seneca sat down to examine himself. He wrote honestly, not to record the events of the day, but to question his own judgments. Thinking alone traps you in circles. Writing forces clarity. It directs your mind to commit to a specific sentence. Before bed tonight, write one sentence. I am anxious that X will happen because of Y. Then write the honest answer. Is this actually likely? What can I do about it tonight? Seneca kept daily records of his own progress. This wasn't about recording his day. It was about examining his own mind. A vague fear controls you. A written fear becomes a problem with edges, and problems with edges can be solved. Seneca wasn't immune to fear. He was just practicing. He separated what he could control, his actions, his judgments, from what he couldn't control, other people, the economy, tomorrow's uncertainty. Calm begins when you know the difference. None of this requires a perfect life. It requires daily imperfect practice. Remember, this wasn't written by someone living a peaceful life. It came from a man who served Nero, a ruler who could end his life on a whim. The goal isn't to eliminate fear, it's to stop fear from making your decisions. That's the difference between panic and wisdom. Which of these habits do you think would help you most? And if this was useful, subscribe. I will see you in the next one.